Los Angeles Chargers have just made a move that has caught the attention of fans and analysts alike. While the spotlight is naturally on the team, it's worth taking a step back and looking at the broader picture. This is something quite unusual in the world of the NFL. The Chargers have decided to bring in an athlete with a background in rugby, making him the latest addition to their roster. This isn't a regular occurrence in football, but it highlights the growing trend of cross-sport recruitment, which has been made possible through an international program that allows NFL teams to bring in athletes from outside the traditional pool of American football players. Typically, these athletes come from rugby, a sport that shares some striking similarities with American football, especially when it comes to the shape of the ball and the style of play. The athlete the Chargers have signed is no ordinary rugby player. He stands out for his physical prowess. Weighing in at 250 pounds, he is a force to be reckoned with, and his speed is just as impressive. He can complete the 40-yard dash in just 4.5 seconds, a time that would make many NFL players envious. This is all the more remarkable when you consider the fact that the Chargers already have solid players at the position he's being brought in to fill, such as Will Dissly and Tyler Conklin. The fact that the team still saw a need for someone with a different skill set says a lot about the specific role they're looking to fill and the potential they see in this new signing. It's fascinating how a program that once might have seemed like an experiment has evolved into a legitimate route for teams to acquire talent. The Chargers' decision to explore this route is a testament to the innovative thinking that is becoming more prevalent in the NFL. The uniqueness of the situation is something that cannot be overstated. While international players are often brought in to fill specific roles, they typically come from a defensive background, especially from positions like defensive line or edge rusher. But this player, who stands at 6 feet 5 inches tall, is something of an anomaly in that sense. His height and physical build make him an interesting prospect for the Chargers, and it's clear that there's a lot of potential for this experiment to pay off. His background in rugby could translate well into the physical nature of the NFL, where strength, agility, and speed are paramount. With the Chargers already having players like Dissly and Conklin in place, it's clear they have a solid foundation, but they've made the decision to push the envelope by taking a chance on someone from outside the traditional pool of NFL prospects. It's a bold move, and one that could ultimately pay off in ways that go beyond the obvious. The fact that the Chargers are making such an unusual move speaks to a larger trend in the NFL. Teams are becoming more open to thinking outside the box when it comes to recruitment. The idea of bringing in a player from rugby might have seemed like a long shot just a few years ago, but now it's an exciting possibility for teams looking to tap into new talent. Rugby players, especially those from positions like forward or back, often possess the kind of strength and endurance that can be incredibly valuable in the NFL. Their training and gameplay in rugby often involve physicality that mirrors what's required on the football field, which is why teams are now considering them as viable prospects. The Chargers' decision to bring in this player is just one example of how NFL teams are adapting and evolving their scouting strategies to take advantage of the untapped potential in other sports. But it's not just about bringing in someone with the right physical attributes. The player's background in rugby also means that he's likely to have a different mental approach to the game. Rugby players are accustomed to a high level of contact and strategic play, often in high-pressure situations. This mindset could be beneficial in a league like the NFL, where the speed of the game and the physical demands of the sport are unmatched. While the Chargers may be taking a risk by bringing in a player who has never played American football before, they are betting on the fact that his athleticism, work ethic, and rugby experience could translate into success on the field. One thing that stands out about this signing is the impact it could have on the future of NFL recruitment. If this player is able to adapt to the NFL and succeed, it could open the door for other rugby players to make the jump to football, further blurring the lines between the two sports. We could see more teams looking to rugby as a fertile ground for untapped talent, especially as the NFL continues to evolve and search for new ways to gain a competitive edge. Looking at the big picture, this signing is not just about one player. It's about the potential shift in how teams approach scouting and recruitment in the future. The Chargers are taking a chance, yes, but they're also showing that they're willing to innovate and try new things in an effort to stay ahead of the competition. It's a bold move that speaks to the ever-changing landscape of professional football. The next few seasons will be fascinating to watch as teams like the Chargers continue to experiment with different strategies and look for new sources of talent. What makes this even more interesting is the way it reflects the growing importance of the draft in today's NFL. While the draft has always been a crucial part of team building, teams are now more focused than ever on making smart selections that will help them build a competitive roster. With the draft just around the corner, it will be interesting to see how the Chargers approach their selections, especially considering that they've already taken a gamble on an international player. The team is clearly willing to think outside the box, and it will be fascinating to see how this strategy plays out. As we look forward to the upcoming draft, there's a palpable sense of excitement in the air. The Chargers have already made a splash with their international signing, and the upcoming draft promises to bring even more surprises. Teams are preparing to make their picks, and fans are eager to see how their teams will perform in this year's draft. The Chargers, in particular, are in an interesting position. With the addition of an international player and a draft strategy that seems to be focused on innovation, they are a team to watch. The next few months will be crucial for the Chargers, as they look to build a roster that can compete at the highest level. As we prepare for the draft, the excitement builds. There are so many possibilities, so many potential stars waiting to be selected. The Chargers will have to make smart decisions, but with their recent moves, it's clear that they're ready to take some risks. And when it comes to the NFL, sometimes taking risks is exactly what it takes to succeed. The draft is always a time of great anticipation. Teams across the league will be making their picks, hoping to find the next big star. The Chargers have already made their first bold move, and now it's time to see how the rest of their offseason strategy unfolds. Fans will be watching closely, hoping that the Chargers can continue to innovate and build a team that can compete for years to come. The next chapter in the team's journey is just beginning, and it promises to be an exciting one. The Chargers are ready to make their mark, and we're all waiting to see what comes next. As the Chargers continue to innovate with their latest international signing, it's impossible to overlook the bigger picture surrounding the NFL draft. The importance of the draft cannot be overstated, especially in today's increasingly competitive league. Every team, including the Chargers, is now under more pressure than ever to make selections that will secure their future. While the focus remains on the traditional routes of scouting, it's evident that teams are beginning to think beyond conventional boundaries, whether that means looking to rugby for athletic talent or exploring new scouting technologies. The Chargers have already proven their willingness to take calculated risks, and now it's time to see how their draft strategy will unfold. The NFL draft has always been a pivotal moment in a team's journey, but in recent years, it's become even more of a spectacle. With so much riding on every pick, teams are carefully considering not only talent, but also the intangible factors that could impact a player's success in the league. Character, adaptability, and even the ability to adjust to the NFL's fast-paced style of play are now just as crucial as raw athleticism. That's why the Chargers' decision to bring in a rugby player isn't just about his physical attributes. It's about his mindset and how that might mesh with the team's culture and approach to the game. There's also the undeniable fact that the Chargers, like many other teams, are searching for a competitive edge in a league where success is often measured in tiny margins. As teams continue to study how other sports like rugby and soccer approach talent development, it's not surprising to see the NFL start to broaden its scope. The Chargers, in particular, seem to have recognized that just sticking to the usual recruitment channels might not be enough to stay ahead. Instead, they're thinking outside the box, bringing in a player from a completely different background to fill a need they've identified on their roster. This isn't the first time we've seen a shift in how NFL teams approach recruitment. Over the years, teams have started to pay closer attention to athletes from a variety of sports, including basketball, track and field, and even baseball. But rugby players, with their high level of contact and physicality, have emerged as particularly intriguing prospects. The NFL, after all, is a sport where size, strength, and speed reign supreme. And in rugby, athletes are trained to handle contact from all angles, making them more adaptable to the physical demands of American football. The Chargers are clearly betting that this unique skill set could make their newest recruit a key asset. Of course, it's impossible to predict how successful this experiment will be. The NFL is an unforgiving league, and not every cross-sport athlete has managed to transition smoothly. However, what sets the Chargers apart is their willingness to give this type of athlete chance. Many teams might shy away from signing someone without an established football background, but the Chargers are embracing the opportunity to tap into uncharted territory. By doing so, they're sending a message that they're willing to go the extra mile to find the best possible players for their system. Now, as the draft approaches, the team's focus will shift to securing even more talent to bolster their roster. The Chargers have a number of pressing needs, and with each round of the draft, the potential to add another key piece to the puzzle increases. However, they're not the only team trying to outsmart the competition. With so many talented players available, it's clear that every pick matters. The Chargers will need to balance their desire for immediate impact players with their long-term vision. It's a delicate balancing act, and they'll have to be strategic in how they approach each selection. One thing that's becoming more and more clear as we approach the draft is that the game is evolving. The NFL continues to grow, not just in terms of the talent pool, but also in terms of its global reach. Teams are now scouting players from around the world, recognizing that talent doesn't have to be confined to the United States. And that's where the international program comes in. The fact that the Chargers were able to secure a rugby player is just one example of how teams are starting to think globally. As the NFL's reach expands, so too does the talent pool. And this move by the Chargers is just the beginning. For the Chargers, the next few months will be critical. They've already made a bold statement with their international signing, but the draft will be an even bigger test of their strategy. With so many exciting prospects on the board, they'll need to make the right decisions to ensure their roster is built for success. The team has already shown it's not afraid to take risks, and now it's about following through on that mentality. If they can nail their draft picks and continue to develop their roster in innovative ways, the Chargers could be in for a bright future. But it's not just about adding new players to the team. The Chargers will also need to make sure they're developing their existing talent in the right way. With the addition of new players and a revamped draft strategy, the team will need to work hard to integrate everyone into their system. It's a complex process, but if done correctly, it can pay huge dividends down the line. As we all know, the NFL is a league that rewards consistency and development, and the Chargers will need to stay focused on building a team that can not only compete but thrive for years to come. As the draft gets closer, the excitement will continue to build. Fans are eager to see which direction the Chargers will take, and analysts will be watching closely to see how their strategies play out. But one thing is for sure. The team is in a great position to make an impact. The decision to sign an international player, combined with their forward-thinking approach to the draft, sets them apart from many other teams. The next few seasons could be some of the most exciting in the franchise's history, and it will be thrilling to see how the Chargers continue to innovate and push the boundaries of what's possible in the NFL. As the Chargers move into the draft, there will be plenty of questions to answer. How will they continue to shape their roster? Will their international signing prove to be a game-changer? These are the questions that will keep fans and analysts alike on the edge of their seats. The excitement is palpable, and as the Chargers gear up for the draft, one thing is clear. They're ready to make their mark. Whether their latest move turns out to be a game-changer or a minor blip on the radar, it's clear that the Chargers are ready to take bold steps toward securing a bright future in the NFL. It's a thrilling time to be a fan of the Chargers, and the draft will be the next chapter in their journey toward greatness. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Los Angeles Chargers. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Could Hollywood be calling for Joe Burrow? Rumors swirling around the NFL have ignited speculation that the Los Angeles Chargers are preparing a bold bid to bring the Cincinnati Bengals superstar quarterback to the West Coast. With their sights set on a transformative figure to lead the franchise into a new era, the Chargers' interest in Burrow has sparked excitement and intrigue across the league. The 27-year-old quarterback, famously calm under pressure and affectionately dubbed Joe Cool and Joe BRRR, has already made a name for himself with historic performances. From lifting LSU to a national championship and Heisman Trophy to ending Cincinnati's decades-long playoff drought, Burrow has consistently delivered when it matters most. Despite a rocky start to the 2024 season following wrist surgery, his recent showings, including back-to-back 300-plus yard games with multiple touchdowns, prove that he's still among the NFL's elite. For the Chargers, a franchise known for promise but often plagued by inconsistency, acquiring Burrow could be a game-changer. While their current roster boasts offensive talent, a leader with Burrow's poise, leadership, and proven playoff capability could be the missing piece. His performances, even in losses, have impressed evaluators, particularly his recent 356-yard, three-touchdown game against the Chargers themselves. Sources close to the situation say that while no formal talks have begun, internal discussions within the Chargers organization have centered around what it would take to land a player of Burrow's caliber. His blockbuster contract with the Bengals, once the richest in NFL history, could pose a challenge, but the Chargers front office is reportedly undeterred, viewing Burrow as a long-term investment worth pursuing aggressively. As speculation builds, fans are left wondering, could the Hollywood lights soon shine on one of the NFL's brightest stars? One thing is certain. If Joe Burrow swaps Bengals stripes for Chargers blue, the NFL landscape could shift dramatically, with Los Angeles emerging as a true contender under the cool command of number 9. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Los Angeles Chargers, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.